down to the table, guys. Let me make sure that we're not muted.
Yeah,
okay.
are you, everybody?
Yeah, everybody's good. We're not muted.
Okay.
Welcome down to the table, guys. This is our post-game talk show where we break down the episode, talk about all the stuff, kind of behind the scenes, all that. So I'm going to open it up. This was episode 2 of King's Crossing. We were still in Arwen's Rest. Kind of, well, I was going to say situated around Hobbs Lodge, but I guess not really, because it kind of went to a couple different places. Not as much. Once again, this was an episode where we didn't get to nearly as much as I would have liked. I wanted to get to a lot more.
I think we talked too much.
Which is perfectly fine, because your guys' commentary makes the game for me. My favorite scene, my favorite point of this game wasn't anything I did. It was this kid holding onto Grunkle's finger and Grunkle going, "This isn't my stick!" like, that was my, I broke character. I died. Oh, I thought it was my stick.
What the fuck is it?
He's just holding this child. Like, I was imagining the kid was like holding his finger, you know, like a kid holding his dad's hand. But then Grunkle said that. I was like, is Grunkle just holding this child like it's his spear?
Yeah.
That's what I was. This kid's just like in Grunkle's hand, like, "Hey guys, I'm here too." That broke me. I just started dying. I was like, "Yeah, that's canon now. This kid's being carried like a stick." So yeah, you guys talk a lot, so we don't get to immediately.
You know.
But I don't know. It was funny. It's good comment. You know, it's good content. So I can't even be mad. So I'm gonna open it up to you guys. Thoughts? Any questions? Comments? You know, we could go through like we did the first game, kind of start from the beginning, work to the end, kind of thing, or however you guys want to do it.
Did you have to kill me the second session in?
So, 2 points on that. 1, I didn't mean to. 2, the system is called Grim and Perilous. Like it's literally built to where people die.
I rolled 380 to 90s in a row.
You rolled so bad. And then you both rolled 99s, and I was like, I can't just ignore that. That's a crit fail. And that's the thing is I'm giving crit successes like real success. I want it to mean something. And I'm giving crit fails, real fails. So like, I think it was when Grunkle was in the tavern and I had him roll awareness. It was going to be roll awareness to notice what was going on with Torvekek's blessing. Because something was different about Torvekek, and he would be able to tell and be like, "Oh, I want that too." You know, to like give Grunkle a reason to be like, "Yeah, I can see what it's doing to you, and that's awesome, I want it." But he crit failed. And I was like, okay, I'm not just going to make Grunkle blind, so what? Okay, maybe someone took something off him and he didn't realize it. I was like, who's in here that would take... Liliana's not going to steal from him. I was like, the kid would steal from him. Okay, what would he take? And I was like, the rock.
Son of a bitch, that's what happened.
Random ass rock.
Yeah.
That Torvekek told him not to eat.
But he crit failed, so I had to make the crit fail mean something.
Oh, I'm not banging on you. I'm banging on the kid for eating the damn rock.
Yeah. So then the same thing in the swamp. You guys just rolled so goddamn terribly. I had you guys roll survival to be like, okay, do you guys find a trail? Do you guys find like a solid path? You guys both
we
failed.
found a hole.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, you guys are just stomping through the mud pits because this is our path. So yeah, it was a lot of bad rolls. I wasn't trying to kill your character. It was the chances of you dying there were possible, obviously, but they were slim. So what I was doing is I was having it be your toughness checks were going to get harder and harder and harder until it was basically, you know, like whatever the hardest thing is, and that was you going down the peril track, right?
Right.
I'm going to note, Grunkle, using beer, he had the blessing of the beer god. So you using beer activated his blessing. He came back. He didn't take any of the peril damage. So his physical and mental tracks were going down. It only got one step down, but then you took his peril track back up.
Okay.
So yeah. That's what happened there, because I don't know if you meant to do that, but I was like, yo, using the beer is genius, because that's literally the blessing of the god that he just got.
I mean, a little bit, obviously, but I wanted to frame it more as like he's a dwarf. Maybe dwarves can breathe beer. Because Grunkle has good ideas with bad sources. right?
I liked the use of your item, your key item. I also like that it's a sacrifice. You know, that's good. You know, rations that Grunkle has for something that he's passionate about, and he's willing to give that up to save his friends. So I thought that was meaningful.
That's Grunkle's character thing. Like on the order and chaos ranks, he has heroism for order and martyrdom for chaos. He'll sacrifice anything, including himself, if he has to.
That's another thing that
I don't want to give up my sword.
That's another thing I meant to do at the end of last session. So the way this is going to work is, I don't know. The way it's showed in the book is, as you guys do stuff, I give you chaos points or whatever. And then at the end of the session, you roll, and based off how many points you got, and you see if you went up or down the track.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that because our sessions are so short and we don't get enough time to do enough. So what I'm going to do is between this session and next session, I'm going to review these two sessions, session 1 and session 2. And I'm going to put together your guys' chaos points or whatever they're called in this. And I'm going to, next session, at the beginning of the session, so that way we're all up to date, we're going to input those in so that way you guys are up to date. And then I think what we'll do is at the end, we're gonna have to test it out and feel it out, because I feel like we could wait until the end of one adventure and then you guys roll for it, but that might give you too much time to rank up too much chaos to where you literally couldn't balance it, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Is there an actual, like, I know there's a scale at the top of the character sheet that shows you can get multiple order ranks and multiple chaos ranks. I look at that and think
Corruption,
but
that's the word.
What? Yeah, and there's corruption points in the middle of it all.
So basically, what it is say, I'm trying to think of an instance. Where Torvekek decided to make fun of a child's penis. That would give him corruption. Because it's just something, think about it like not lawful good. Any action that's not like lawful good in this world is like something corrupting you. So making fun of a child's penis is not the nice guy thing to do, right? So that would be one corruption. Whereas say Grunkle or say
wait. Like, isn't it supposed to be with your chaos alignment? Like mine's martyrdom. Anytime I'm willing to kill myself, I get a chaos rank?
No, so
or is it just generally bad stuff that leads me towards that?
Generally, stuff you do will give you corruption. Now, this is different. Corruption is
chaos
different.
Alignment is already mayhem, so.
Oh yeah, but now think of the moment where he rolled. I think he was talking to the priestess of Inebria, Addison, and he rolled a crit success to pull out his hammer or his axe and cut her head off. You remember that?
Yeah, that was an accidental roll, but yeah.
Yeah, accidental roll. If he had done that, that would be a lot of chaos instead of just one. And there's a chart. I'd have to find it. I'm not going to find it right now. There's a chart to like kind of give you an idea of like, if you murder a village, if you steal stuff, you know, this different stuff you do is going to give you different amounts of corruption. And then you roll a dice, and if you get low, like higher than that corruption number, you're fine. If you get lower, then you get chaos, and that amount of corruption is going to show at the end of the adventure or the end of the session, as it's supposed to be. Did you lean more towards the good or towards the bad? And so that would give you a point in either order or chaos. And then that scale is just how you roleplay your character. Is your character more of a good aligned or evil aligned? Okay, well, let me look. I have 4 points in chaos. My character is probably going to be more aligned towards evil. So in this instance, I'm going to play him this way. It's a role play.
I think I get it. No, but for my character, so if I was doing good things, I was successfully helping people, I would be with my order alignment heroism. I would say Grunkle hero, and Grunkle do good thing. Grunkle will fight against you. And if I did bad things, and I ate people, and I ripped arms off of children and devoured them in front of Torvekek while he begged me not to, and I don't even speak real like language, I just speak gibberish at him, and he's like, please, just speak English, anything. If I did that, then Grunkle would be more inclined towards his chaos alignment, which is martyrdom. I deserve to die to save somebody.
Exactly.
Because
That's exactly
killing
what I
myself would like save me. So that would be my evil alignment then,
Yeah.
in a sense.
The corruption scale is just so that we can keep track of it. So that way you don't have
Of
to
where
remember,
I should be, yeah.
where you're at. This is just a way to keep track of it.
Yeah.
I haven't done my due diligence as a DM and given you guys the corruption you guys were supposed to be getting. So what I'll do is between this session and next session, I'll go through a review, bring up the points, and at the beginning of the session, we'll put them in there, roll for it so you guys can see where you're at, and then we'll carry on as normal.
Well, just a question. Why not have you like wouldn't it be easier just for you to say, look, you did a couple of nasty things this session, Grunkle. You ate a lot of people. You get a chaos rank for this session. Like, rather than rolling, couldn't you just give the judicial ranks? Or
maybe it might be easier that way, especially just to remember.
That's what it seems like to me. It's like you as the GM or storyteller or dungeon master. I feel like you should be able to say, were you acting as your heroism order alignment, or were you acting as your martyrdom chaos alignment?
Yeah,
but
then you have to.
I think the rules take it like so it's not personal. Like it's just that's what the rules said.
True. Yeah,
I don't
maybe.
know.
And then it's also like, okay, these last two sessions you haven't really done anything super heroic, but you also haven't done anything super chaotic. Maybe like
exactly.
Maybe like you guys went out and helped clean up everything. With the you guys stepped up and went out and helped clean up, but you'd only do it if you were getting paid. You're like, I'm not helping you unless you're paying us.
Good point.
You guys specifically told them we're not sticking around this town unless you pay us to do so. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, you're gonna go hunt and trap for them, but you're also taking their money. This town where they charge copper, and you're like, pay us silver, lots of it.
Well, I never said pay us silver. I just said we wanted to get paid.
Yeah.
You can't expect me to do your work and not pay me.
But you could if you were a hero.
What is your order and chaos alignment?
What about Torvekek screams hero to you?
That's what we're talking about. Order alignment versus chaos alignment. If you want to lean more towards your chaos alignment, that's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
But should being a normal person give you chaos alignment?
You're not a normal person.
But I'm acting
and humanity is not. Yes, absolutely, it would.
Well, quick question, because you said Mayhem is your chaos alignment. What's your order alignment?
Mine?
Yeah. If you want to share, you don't have to.
My order alignment is adaptation.
Adaptation.
That's
interesting. Adaptation versus Mayhem is the scale that you're on. I feel. I'd have to look at the entry, but to me that says
I don't think, to me, asking for money to do somebody else's job doesn't seem like you should get chaos points.
I'm not saying it gives you chaos points. I'm saying it doesn't give you hero points.
Well, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying you got chaos. I thought you got saying you got chaos points for that.
If you steal from the bartender, that would give you chaos points. If you went and murdered the town, that would give you chaos points. If you took your axe and cut off the priestess head, that would give you chaos points. If you're like, hey, you guys really need help, this hunt captain is worried about this problem. This town really needs help. They're facing a crisis right now. We'll help you. Hey, you don't need to pay us. Save that for helping the town. Maybe try and hire pay a blacksmith to come in and work. But instead, you're like, nah, give us the money. We need the money. Okay, that's perfectly fine. You're just not going to get the hero point for it.
That's a very good thing, because adaptation, I was just puzzling on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Adaptation with order is, instead of, it's using your creativity, I think, to build things. Like, rather than taking money, being like, this blacksmith under our control will yield this town some actual products, and maybe we can get like a 5%, like interest off the top, because we're.
But the town doesn't have a blacksmith.
Exactly. If we could get a blacksmith, if it's like we don't get 5 gold now, but we get like the profits from a blacksmith as well as having a blacksmith be installed, that might be more of the adaptive part. I don't know. The adaptive seems like a pro-social, like if you're integrated in a society, in a town that you really like, that's where I would say like the order ranks for adaptive makes sense. Is you're adapting for the needs of the town. Whereas on the chaos ranks with Mayhem, that's like you're using your creativity just to indiscriminately destroy things. Maybe I'm reading that wrong.
Or think of it this way: you come across someone who could be a blacksmith, and they're like, "Hey, like, you know, I'll pay you for this quest," and you're like, "Actually, instead of paying us, come work in this town that really needs a blacksmith." That would be adaptation. Or you could be like, you know, yeah, but you could pay us, but we'd also like your tools, your weapons, your supplies, and then they're not a blacksmith anywhere, and that's more Mayhem, right?
Yeah, Mayhem. Let's kill him and take everything he's got. Yeah.
And then the town doesn't get a blacksmith. He doesn't have a blacksmith.
Well, he's dead, but we have equipment.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's the way
like
that would work.
The neutral response then would be to like just take the pay, whereas the pro-social, pro-society order approach would be to we need this and it can suit our needs and solve problems or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm looking at this from the position like a bureaucrat.
I could even see the adaptation in this instance being like, yeah, you know what, don't pay us, but I want that money to be invested towards this, so that way I, you know, invest it towards a general store so that I have somewhere to go shop.
And we'll get a discount and get a, like, I mean, like, because it's not, it's pro-social to be like, I want to have this blacksmith come to town and work here so that I can get equipment, but also I would like to get some payoff for it. The 5 gold that I'm foregoing should pay off eventually if I'm getting like 5 copper every time I come, right?
Yeah.
And also have access to weapons. At least that's the way I see it, is that the order really suggests like society, whereas chaos to me suggests you have a lack of society.
So basically the way this works with the chaos and order is not, okay, I'm a hero, so I'm going to do this one, or I'm a villain, so I'm going to do this one. It's you do what you want to do. And then based off that, we'll say, okay, you leaned this way this session. So we're going to put a point here just to show kind of where you're currently standing. And then, you know, oh, now this game, you leaned a lot this way. You really wanted to go out and do this and this and this. And now your point has moved this way. Just to show you as a character where you're standing in is. You could be 9 points in the order rank and still be like, you know what? Fuck this town. Let's kill everybody. Okay, you guys, you know, the whole point of this game is you guys get to the point where you're heroes. You guys heard a story of another hero and how they act. You didn't get the whole story, but you kind of got an idea maybe of they're superheroes in this world. Adventurers are basically superheroes in this world. They kind of get to do whatever the fuck they want. So you could be Captain America and be like, you know what? I think have either of you guys seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
If not,
I've seen Winter Soldier, but not Falcon.
So Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a TV show that came out, and basically Captain America's retired. He's old now, and he passed on his shield. The shield got put into the hands of this soldier who is a great soldier, you know, went and served his country, right? And he has to step up and be the new Captain America, but he's not Captain America, and he breaks. And he ends up killing a man with the shield. Uses the shield and just drives it into this guy's skull and kills him. And you see the shield is all bloody and everything. So, I mean, you could have a superhero who's just like, you know, he's capable of that, right? So go and do it. The points are just kind of where your current standing is. That current standing could change depending on how you act. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But there's no actual like definitive, like you don't lose characteristic points or anything from having chaos ranks, and you don't gain anything from having order ranks. It's just
not entirely true. If you get all the way up to the highest in order, if you become like angelic in order, right? You can gain fate points, which if you remember, fate points could save you from death, like falling in a mud pit.
What about chaos ranks?
If you go all the way towards chaos, you can gain, I believe it's called a disorder. it is called a disorder, where it's just like some new deformity. There's
Like
tons of them.
depression.
Well, there's a whole bunch. Let me actually see if I can find the
Oh yeah, like super depression,
Super
ultra
depression,
depression.
yeah.
I know.
um
Crippling depression is one of the hard
it's
ones.
one of them, yeah.
Paranoia, anxiety,
Wanna find the
generalized
actual-
anxiety, specified anxiety, terrible gas. None of these are actual options.
No. There are actual ones.
Pretty sure it's like schizophrenia and like extreme paranoia and other things that are.
Maybe it's not on this list. These are manifestations, but I don't. Those are different. Yeah, these are manifestations, which I believe. No, these are different. These are chaos manifestations. Maybe these are them. I don't believe they are, but we'll just assume that it is. One of them would be blah blah blah. You roll for it and you get hairless. Every follicle of hair on your head falls out. It will grow back over time. So, like, that's one of them. These might be when you're messing with magic, the manifestations that can happen.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
That's what I was
actually.
thinking. But there is something with the disorders, but I don't have the quick sheet for it, so it might be something in the book I'd have to actually pull up. We're not at the point where you guys are getting disorders.
Yeah.
Except I'm seeing Grunkle has severe heroism. What's that?
That's related to my order alignment. I want to be a hero.
Oh, okay. You just gave yourself a disorder.
Yeah, I have a case of the heroism.
Okay. I was like, wait, what?
For an ogre, that's a serious thing because I'm considered to be a timid ogre.
Yeah,
among my
I wish
kind.
I had the disorders because I remember like some of them are cool. Like you gain like a third eye and get better awareness, or different shit. Like if that's the kind of character you want to play, then go for it. It's the best way I can think of it is like Fable, the video game. If anyone's played that, you're a hero. You can be a good hero or a bad hero, and your character will kind of take on that persona and look different depending on which way they lean.
Yeah.
That's basically the way it works. So as far as this session, do we have any thoughts on this session?
I mean, not really much happened. I don't really have anything.
Well, that makes me feel bad, but
I mean, we talked a lot, but that's on us.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what all did happen? You guys met some characters.
Untrustworthy child. Pooping on a log.
yeah, the whole
Pooping with a man.
The whole pooping on a log scene, they don't have running water here. Their stuff is a river, so like that's where they get their food and shit from. So they have a where the bathing area is. They have this log that designates an area. Behind that log is a whole pit where you can sit on the log comfortably and relieve yourself. So they were just two guys sitting on a log hanging out. And you guys are like, "You're the worst people ever." And I was like, "No, they're just normal civilians."
Well, Grunkle has very specific bath routine laws, and they broke all of them.
I did notice
pooping
that
and
you guys
looking at me.
were so against them doing this, and I was like, it's just a culture shock, which actually works because this isn't your guys' normal culture. So it's perfectly it works perfectly fine. But I just thought it was really funny because it's just think of it like you're in a public restroom. You're literally in the gym locker room. You've got the showers and you've got the restroom, and these two guys are just in the restroom, and you both are like, "Ha! You guys are stupid! Ah, tiny penis." He's just a little child, and you're like, "What the fuck?"
Well, he insulted me first.
He said you're funny. He said, "Hi, you're really funny," and you're like, "You have a tiny
Dwarves
penis."
are not funny.
He's like, "What?"
Dwarves are stoic.
You were talking to Grunkle, and he laughed. You made him giggle.
Yeah, but he wasn't trying to be funny. That's the thing.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. So you guys did that. You got blessings from a goddess. You got
Priestess
who
of a goddess.
gave it, yeah. And let's see, you met with you got paid.
Yeah.
I had to repay you guys because I messed up the money. We talked about that. Yeah, so I was talking with Fred about this. You guys not leaving town and going on your adventure. Like, I could tell you both were bored and like didn't know what to do. And I was sitting here like, I mean, there are things that are gonna happen in town today and tonight. So if you stay in town today and tonight, I got you. Like, things will happen. But I was just trying to get a feel for what you guys wanted to do. It was about, early midday because you guys went out and cleaned that morning, and then you went and took a bath. So then I was saying, okay, it's about noon. And I've said it a couple times about midday, blah blah blah, but maybe it just didn't register. And then you guys are like, okay, like, what do we do now? And I was like, well, I mean, you literally have a job that you were being paid to do that you're not going and doing. Like, so that's where I was confused, but I don't want to railroad you guys and be like, you have to go do this job. So I was like, sure, fuck it, stay in town. Like, that's fine. We'll find stuff to do. But I was trying to get a feel for it. I was like, do they know? Or like, are you choosing this, or like, are you just not aware? So that's why I was like, I'm just going to real quick interject here and let you guys know what the current status is. That's where I didn't know if I messed that up or what was going on. I didn't want to railroad you guys and be like, you need to go do this. So
I mean, I was just checking to see if there's anything left to do, any place we could stop for equipment, any place to go to, or anything happening. And I was getting null responses of just that. Nope, there's nowhere to go to buy stuff. There was a general store, but now there isn't. And so it was sort of like, okay, so there's nothing to do. And for some reason, I thought we were heading out in the morning, the following morning. So it's like, we have time. There's nowhere to go. Nothing's happening. So
there's 2 points on that. One, I messed up, and Addison was supposed to talk with Torvekek the first time he came out about the ingredients needed for her new brew that she's trying to do. And that's why I kind of retconned and had you guys go back, because I was like, oh, I totally messed up. This is needed, and it should have been given, and I messed that up.
Gotcha.
So that would have been something that you guys would have known about. So that's on me. The second part was, yeah, there's no general store, and there's a reason for it, and there's a story behind it. You've only been here a day. These people don't trust you all that much. They're not willing to speak bad about heroes, obviously, so they're not telling you the whole story. You kind of picked that up. But when Kyler first sat down and was like, hey, here's some stuff you guys can do to prep. Talk to Liliana about getting some drinks. Talk to Griff about getting some food. If you guys need a blessing from the gods, you talk to Addison. If you need any extra gear, let me know. You guys need anything? You both said no. He said, all right, packed up his stuff, and he headed out. And then you guys are like, well, where do we go to get gear? And I was like, well, he asked if you guys wanted gear.
Yeah, it's sort of a. I assumed that there might be at least one other place in town that we could go to. So when he said that, it's like, yeah, I don't need any of your hunting traps. I don't need any of your bows or arrows.
I got you. That does check
I don't
out.
need a tent, I guess. But like leather armor, maybe, or well, I already got leather armor, but like upgraded weaponry is mostly what I was looking for. And so no blacksmith, no general store. It's like, we can't get rope, and I didn't think he'd have rope.
Yeah, so the best, like, this place lost their general store. So, they're missing that. But I had that written in for a reason. It's different, I know, but I wanted it to be, basically, there's a whole story behind that, and I wanted it to be meaningful, and I was like, well, how do I make it meaningful? I take out a critical part of this industry. And a reason why the town maybe isn't booming, if you guys wanted, I mean, this is also a town where they're not making weapons. Like, why would they have a bunch of weapons? The hunt captain maybe has his bow and his arrows and his weapon that he takes care of, right? They have fishing, so you might get like harpoons, you might get like the little fish hooks and stuff that they use. Tools would probably be wherever those, like, you could go to the salt mine and get a mining pick. You could use it as a two-handed weapon. Would you go up there and get a giant battle axe? No, why would they have a battle axe? So that's kind of where we're at. And I was of the impression that you guys came to this town, you come in with starting gear. Yeah, it's not the best gear, but it's your level 1 gear that you have. When you play a video game, you pull a random one out. I don't know. Path of Exile is a game where I think it's I shouldn't talk about this because I only played it once like a long time ago, but you basically start and you have this like tier 1 item, and you use that tier 1 item until you go find better gear, right? You don't just start the game and be like, okay, I know this is what you gave me, but I'm just gonna be like, nah, I want this one. Well, that one does. You have to work. You know, you have to play the game. If that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I guess it's the situation where there's no blacksmith, so there's not anything we can earn in this town, at least. So yeah, we do have the starting equipment, but it's like, so we got a little bit of pay. What can we spend our pay on? There's not really an option yet.
It was mentioned in game that they get shipments.
Oh yeah, I do think somebody said that.
Yeah, they get shipments up, and so they probably aren't importing a bunch of, high tier grade quality shit. No one needs it. If two adventurers are like, hey, we're setting up shop here, we're gonna call this home, can you get this on the order? Yeah. If you're gonna buy it, yeah, we'll order it. At least that's a stand-in until business gets up and they get another general store or a blacksmith, or you guys just say fuck this place and leave town. It's kind of, it could go either way. It could be you guys work with what you got, you build up the town and help, give them a reason to, they probably, they even said we're trying to get a general store. We want one, we're trying, we just haven't yet. So they're going to work on that. Maybe, you guys bring in a blacksmith. Maybe that helps boom the economy. They're able to start getting better tools. They're able to start, building boats. They're able to start, building a dam and clearing up the river, da-da-da-da-da. There's plenty of stuff that could happen. Or you guys could be like, fuck this place, I'm going to go to a town that's already established. I'm going to give away, obviously, probably common sense here, but if you stayed in you stay in a level 1 town and you build it up, those people are going to see you as heroes. You go to a level 10 town and be like, hey, we're level 1 heroes. They're going to be like, okay, go muck the stable, Oh, but we brought you a blacksmith. They're like, well, we have 3. What? We don't, You're like, crap. Those other people thought we were great for cutting away tree limbs. If we cut away tree limbs here, people are like, hey, that's my fucking orchard, bitch. So it could go either way. But you guys could go, I'm not saying that's the only way it could go. I'm saying you could go to a level 10 town and they'd be like, hey, go fight the dragon. And you're like, well, hang on.
Hang on a second.
Does any of that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are plenty of options. It's just, this is day 2. Of you guys being in this world. So it's not like, every door is open right now.
Yeah.
Basically the way it works. I knew it would be an issue when I took away the general store and blacksmith and stuff from the starting town. I was like, I know it's going to be an issue because I know that's the first thing people are going to want to do is go shopping. It's not going to be an option.
Well, because it does make the money reward.
Some way to get them. Maybe Torvekek will just become a general store shopkeeper. Who knows?
Could be. Maybe he opens his own shop and then you need to hire somebody while you're out. So that keeps the business going, and all of a sudden Matthew has a job.
That's the plan now. Except probably not going to hire Matthew.
I got a job.
Exactly.
So there's tons of options.
Yeah.
Pickles, you should be pretty aware of this. When I build a campaign, it's pretty open world to where it's like, okay, lots of things could happen. And I'm open to go, like I said, when I first started this, like I built the framework and how it expands and how it builds. You guys could burn down the town. I've had a player do that before. Why am I going to have only one set of plans to be like, no, this town is going to grow, and then you guys burn it to a crisp? And I'm like, I wasn't planning for that, because that's happened. Now I'm like, okay, I have the framework of this town. This town could be a booming success town where they strike gold and you guys find all the riches, and not saying that those are there, but maybe. And it's, a capital city one day of the Freelands, which turns into its own country because of this unification, or the town gets burned to a crisp and you guys leave. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I'm just considering my options here.
Yeah.
there
So
are
you
a
were
lot of
saying
them.
like the money reward is taken out because you don't have anywhere to spend your money.
Yeah, yeah. Essentially, it doesn't matter if they were giving us gold. If there's nowhere to spend it, then gold is just pocket weights.
One, there's drinks and food, which you guys have already learned that you can get more drinks on the menu.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That is true. Like being
you-
able to survive is good, but at a certain point, it's like
I've
I can't
also
upgrade my sword.
I've also mentioned now a couple times that there's orders that you can put in, have stuff
Yeah.
shipped. And so you could talk to whoever does the orders and be like, hey, I'd like a bigger sword. And we get that on the order. Yeah, you got the money to
Yeah.
pay for it. Okay, we'll have it made and sent here. It's gonna take some time, but it's not a convenient system by any means. You probably want to better your system or move somewhere where they have a better
Yeah.
system. But there is a system in place.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I kind of want to have Torvekek just build a journal store now and maybe create a country.
With this, 10 gold?
No. He's gonna get gold from the place in the swamp.
Oh, you're not talking about
gonna-
like tomorrow. You're talking about like.
No,
That's your
this
goal.
is long-term goal.
I was thinking like tomorrow. He's like, no, this is my stall I just built. This is the general store now.
Torvekek creates country.
Yeah, welcome to Torvekia. People of the town are like, what? Like, weren't you sweeping the floor yesterday? Now you're our king?
Yes.
I
You owe
mean,
me taxes. You owe me a couple hundred gold in back taxes.
if you think about it, if you walked into this town and you were just like, I'm your king now, how many of them are going to fight you?
Tyler.
And
Maybe the hunter.
You have an ogre
Maybe.
on your side. How many of them are capable fighters? You have to think they live in a tough place, so they probably have some kind of fighting force you haven't noticed. You've noticed a couple of watchmen, but
I will call the dwarven army. The deep will fall upon you.
and then just they'll take your country and be like, "This is ours now." Why would they come to this mug? They'd be like, "Hey, this random guy who
this
like
is
used to
dwarf
work
country."
here like 50 years ago and retired wants us to go like invade a swamp."
We got nothing else to do. I mean,
I feel like that might be a hard sell.
it's gonna be
Uh,
fine.
so no big visions, no big wars or anything this adventure. What do you guys? Are you guys good on this? You want to move on?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So this has been episode 2 of King's Crossing. My players already hate me, but we're moving into episode 3 starting next week, and we'll see if we can recover. They're out in the swamps on their first adventure. All right, guys. Quick shout outs. My name's Wrath. I have an Instagram at WrathDaddy. It's not safe for work, 18 plus kind of content. So if you're into that kind of stuff, you can go over there, check it out. I have a whole page. I'm a content creator. I'm a professional slut now, so I do all that. If you're interested in seeing that, you can go there. That's all I'm going to say about it. In the meantime, Mr. Pickles.
I am Mr. Pickles, but I also go by another name. I do a podcast with my friend Brad. It's called And I Took That Personally. It's on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple Podcasts. And I Took That Personally. We talk about movies. It's a time. We talk about movies. We're going to have another episode coming out. We'll have 3 episodes when that happens. So in a few days, you'll be able to hear us talk about friendship and French animation.
The Slenderman episode was entertaining.
It is the movie I thought it was, right?
Yes, it's exactly the movie. And look, we're not that mean. We just, yeah, we're not that mean, and it devolves into talking about friendship and life and it's a very personal episode actually. So if you're looking for something very wholesome that gives you a little bit of warmth in your heart, pour a glass of whiskey or hot chocolate and enjoy the next episode when it comes out in a few days. And I took that personally. That's me.
I will say that I finally listened to the second episode. Actually, it's probably been a week or 2 now. I listened to the second episode, and I won't give away spoilers. I won't talk about it. But from someone who has minimal experience, but some experience with it, I think I was similar with Brad. I think he was the one who said he was only familiar with the games.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
So,
I was the same way. Because
I didn't even play the games.
I can't remember. I feel like it was Pickles who showed me the game, actually. Was it not?
Yeah, I've never played it myself, but I knew of it, and I would easily know where to like share it with people. But
Yeah, I feel like you may have shown me videos or something, or I came across videos of people playing it, and I don't want to give away spoilers. Basically, the fact that I won't talk about it. Go listen to the episode yourself. Let us know what you think.
well, now I'm really curious what you're gonna say.
Oh, I'll tell you, but I don't want to give away.
Okay.
I can't
Sure.
give away spoilers to you. You know, you heard the episode.
I'm just surprised that you have something to say about my episodes because
I always have something to say. I had something
well,
to say.
I just I have a inferiority complex here.
Oh, me too. I completely understand. The fact that my content has gone anywhere, I'm like, why? What?
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
weird.
okay, yeah, you get it, then.
Yeah. All right, guys, that's it. Fred, you didn't have anything to shout out. I don't want to pass you over.
I exist.
There you go. We appreciate you guys. Thank you for listening to the episode. We will see you next week. Sundays now. We've moved our days. Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, and 4 p.m. Pacific. Later.
Adios.